Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. All right. Woo! Man, oh man. It is another Thursday, and you guys know what Thursday is. It's another Haunting Adeline episode, and my goodness, has that been getting juicy. But you know what we do before Haunting Adeline is we have a thread. And boy, do we got a juicy thread for today. Goddamn, it is, ladies, what's the creepiest thing a guy has done that was meant to be romantic? Whoo! We've done a lot of these different type of ones, and yeah, dudes be kind of,
Hey yo, what the fuck?
If I'm being honest with you. So I think this one's gonna be just as like, yo, what the fuck? All right. A guy told me that he had killed 2 people. Goddamn. Wow, we started heavy. Goddamn. Okay. All right, a guy told me he had killed 2 people and dumped their bodies in the lake. He was a psycho and thought that somehow would be cool or mysterious and would impress me. He offered to take me to the spot in the lake and show me. I called the cops on him. He was pissed and said he made it up and shouldn't have overreacted. I don't really know what he was expecting. Yo, bro, that man was trying to murder you, bro. He was like, do you want to go and see where I buried the body? No, I don't. What the? So you could kill me next? Like, nah, man. Oh, no.
Bruh.
That's crazy. Man, we came out this one hot. Jesus Christ. Okay. This is going to be a wild one. Okay. A guy I worked with sent me flowers to my home address. When I asked how he got my address, he told me he stole my pay slip. What the fuck? This man got a hold of her paycheck and was just like, oh, cool, that's her address. I'm about to send her some flowers. Like, or you could have just maybe, I don't know, got to know her and then like asked her, hey, can I send you flowers or something like that? I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to make it spontaneous and like, oh my God, wow, this is like super sweet and whatever. I get that, but bro, that's doing a little much. I mean, maybe if you ask like a friend or something like that, like, hey, I'm going to buy flowers. Can you like send it to her house? And it's like from me. You could have did something like that too. And that probably would have been a little less creepy. But the fact that you went out of your way to steal her pay stub just to get her address, that's wild. An ex wrote to me in blood once. Yo, what? Who do y'all be dating? I mean, well, I guess, wait, hold on. Yeah, that was an ex. Who the fuck y'all be dating? My question is valid. Who the fuck y'all be dating? This nigga wrote you in blood? Like, what? That's probably the scariest, most serial killer thing I've ever heard. Oh, my goodness. Okay. We moving on. Jesus Christ. It was my first job out of college, and I went to a lot of networking events. I met a guy who was older, gray hair, balding, and had maybe a 15-minute conversation with him about very mundane topics. We exchanged business cards and moved on to the next contact. Next day at work, I got a huge bouquet of flowers. This thing easily cost over $100. They arrived right as I was leaving for a meeting with a coworker, so I didn't get to really have time to think about them. Get back, and I have 2 messages from the guy asking if I received the flowers. As I'm listening to the message, he calls again. I share an office with my 30-something male boss, so personal phone calls are already awkward. The flower sender is asking if I got the flowers, what did I think, and telling all these other things he thought about sending but wasn't sure what I liked. When he finally stops talking, I thank him and tell him the flowers were a little much. Which causes him to tell me that it meant nothing. He was just trying to be friendly. When I got off the phone, my boss, who could only hear my side of the conversation, said, "I hope that guy doesn't know where you live." Ooh. He does. Sadly. Yeah, sadly, that nigga knows exactly where you live because he sent you the fucking, the flowers and all that kind of, woo. Oh, my goodness. And he's like, that old man, he was like, oh, yeah, oh, that young girl, man. I love me some of that young girl. Like, woo, little red flaggy, if I'm being honest with you. God damn. I hate that was it. She didn't really write any more about it. But golly. All right. I was flirting with a guy in a club. We talked all night and finally kissed. Oh, goddamn. He was awesome and really hot. Then he told me to close my eyes and put a silver necklace around my neck. I looked at it and said, thanks. He smiled and said, it belonged to my first girlfriend. Yo, she died in a house fire when I was 15. I mean, bro, you were up. You were up, and then you just failed after that. Like she was like, man, he's hot, he's great, everything is going awesome. You did the whole romantic thing of putting the necklace on her, and she was just like, what's this for? And you could have just been like, that right there, you know, that means you mine now, you know. You could have did something like that. You could have been smooth with it, but instead, this goofy motherfucker said, oh, yeah, this belonged to my first girlfriend. She died in a fire. Like, what are you expecting the girl to say to something like that? Nigga, lie. Lie to her. Man, you know, you could have been like, that's my grandma's or something. You know, like, bro, you were up. You were up, and then you go say some goofy shit like that, and she's just like,
hey, yo, what the fuck?
She died in a fire when she was 15. What? Huh? You're weird. Get away from me. Like, at that point, she don't care. You know? Hey, come on, man. God damn, bro. You fucked it up. 2 weeks after meeting, he wanted to get my name tatted on him. Yo. I noped out real quick. Thank God you did, because he wanted a tattoo of your name on, like, bro. Come on, man. You've been talking for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. This man was so smitten. He was just like, oh my gosh, she is the greatest thing on God's green earth. I gotta have a symbol of this girl forever. You're crazy, man. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Shit. Ex-boyfriend thought sending me a leopard print thong in the mail was charming. This nigga. But he didn't want to be a creep, so he sent it anonymously. Really? Okay. And I opened it in front of my parents. Yo! No, she didn't. Her parents were just like, oh, honey, you got a package today. And she was like, who's it from? I didn't order anything. She's like, I don't know. It's just anonymous. And she opens it and it's just like, oh my God. Wow. Her mom's like, what is it? What is it? Looks in the box and she's like, oh, wow. I didn't know you were seeing somebody. And she was like, no, I'm not. I don't know where the fuck this came from. Oh, man. Hey, bro just missed the mark big time. Jesus. When I was like 16, a 25-year-old tried to get with me. We knew each other through barbershop quarter programs, and since it is a small group of people, most of them add each other on Facebook and talk often. Well, this guy added me and immediately began to flirt with me. He'd always call me cutie or tell me how sexy I looked in pictures, followed by a winking face. I had a boyfriend at the time, so I tried to respond by talking about my boyfriend rather than making a scene, since I was still involved in the barbershop community. Anyway, one day he decided to tell me how my boyfriend didn't seem worthy of me, and then followed it up with the fact that He masturbated to pictures of me. When I didn't respond, he said, "We all do it. I'm just a little lonely." I blocked him after that. What the fuck? So he said that the boyfriend beats his meat to pictures of her and then goes and instantly says, because she didn't respond to that, she says, "We all do it. I'm just a little lonely." Like, so you're out here saying that my boyfriend beats his meat to my pictures, but then you go and say you do the same thing, you old goofy? Come on, man. You're not better than the boyfriend at all then. Oh my God. Some of you dudes are just, you guys are L's. You guys are L's like crazy, man. Oh my God. I had an ex-boyfriend who began stalking me after I broke up with him. Golly, out here stalking chicks? He'd wait outside for me, park his truck behind my car so I couldn't leave creepy notes on my car, standing outside my basement door looking in, etc. All because he said I loved him and we belonged together, but I just didn't know it yet. Whoa, hold up. He said, "You love me and you just don't know it yet?" No, that's not how that works. Lasted almost a year after we broke up until I had to almost get the cops involved. Dude, what? That's crazy. He said, "You love me and you just don't know it yet." That's crazy. That's probably saying that is probably more scary than all the shit he was doing. You know, because that just lets you know this man is serious and he means creepy business. You know, like, fuck. Whew, good luck, girl. Goddamn. Woo. Goddamn. He was a budding animator who had a crush on me. As a romantic gesture to win me over, he created an anthropomorphic sexy squirrel character based on me and drew several very detailed and graphic pinup pictures of it and uploaded them to his online portfolio. He was a pretty skilled artist and the face of the character was noticeably me. He said it was how he saw me in his fantasies. This nigga saw her as a sexy squirrel in his fantasies. Like,
What did he say?
that's weird. That's so weird. And he thought that was romantic in some way. Like, he was like, "Yeah, babe. Like, yeah, my fantasies, I see you as a sexy ass squirrel, man. Goddamn. You know, you the sandy cheeks to my SpongeBob. Goddamn." Like, she's like, "That's gross and a little weird. Get away from me, please." My goodness. Oh, shit. Broke into my house and left an engagement ring on my bed and a note saying how he masturbated in my sheets because they smell like me. This was after I broke up with... what? This man said, "I broke into your house. I left an engagement ring on the bed. I jerked it into your sheets because they smell like you. Take me back."
What?
I don't get it. I don't... What? Why would a girl see that and be like, "Oh my God, I'm so in love with this guy again"? Like, man, that's crazy. Woo! I told you these threads are juicy as hell for no reason. We haven't had a banger like this in a while. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. God damn, dude. Where just every single situation and scenario is just a banger. Like, yo. Oh my God. The morning after our first date, sent me a picture of a guy going down on a woman. He said his first thought this morning was doing that to me. Later the same day, he texted me saying he was falling in love with me. Oh my Lord. And that was the end of the shortest relationship I had ever had. Bro, you guys had one date. You had one date. And you fucked up just like the necklace guy. You were up. You were up, bro. She was like, she probably would love that first date. She was like, man, that first date was really great. Like, he seemed like a really good guy, and then she gets this goofy ass image of a guy eating a girl out. And then he's like, oh yeah, that's what I want to do to you. And it's just like, huh? And then he's over here talking about, oh my God, I'm so in love with you.
Stop the cap.
Come on, bro. Really? Really? You look stupid. Like pick your pride up off the floor, man, and go on somewhere. At this point, gave me stolen underwear, cheap jewelry. A couple hours after we'd met, this guy also asked me when he could put a baby in me, confessed his love for me. One of the weirdest nights of my life. What? Hold on. Because it's longer than that, but Jesus Christ. He was like, yo, I bought you some underwear. I bought you some jewelry. I'm in love with you. Like, nigga, what? Like, you, huh? This is the first date, I'm presuming. Like, what the hell? And then she says, like, that's not all. He told me he was 23 when we met, and by the time I got away, he was 33. Keep in mind that I was 17 at the time. Okay. So he said he was 23, but he was actually 33, so that nigga lied. He told me to climb in the window of his house when I arrived. What? Okay. He was right there, and I was already weirded out. Plus, I have some issues, so I agreed with much trepidation. His best friend, who was also one of his housemates at the time, now lives right down the road from me and is visited by creepy number one regularly. After I got away, I texted him and told him never to talk to me again. He then demanded all his gifts back. Like, nigga, come on, man. Or he would call the cops and tell them you stole my stuff. Wow. I said, okay, if he gave me a place to drop him off, I would have my parents do it. He refused this and insisted that I meet him. It didn't happen. Yeah, no, red flag, nigga. The fuck are you talking about here? He continued to message me and leave me voice messages until I got a new phone 6 months later. There were more where those came from. If anyone wants to hear more about it, there's more than that. Yo, my God. Why? Like,
Bruh.
Why did you date this dude and put up with the shit from this guy? Like, man. Oh, my Lordy. We on to the next one. That one was a handful. Met me on the train, says he's related to a rugby player, as the resemblance is there, so I believe him, and tries to ask me out thinking I like rugby players' cousins. Half an hour later, when I'm waiting for my friend to get money out, he tries to surprise me with a quick kiss, covered my mouth, and also tried to slip the tongue. Then goes for a boob grab, holding me close to him and with a really strong arm. My friend grabbed him and kneed him in the stomach when I finally got his gross mouth off me, yelling for help. Ooh, all right. Wonderful. My goodness. Nothing says romance like forced love. Jesus Christ. Goodness gracious. All right, on to that next one. I mean, we ain't dealing with that. Followed me to the bathroom at a party because he just wanted to help me.
Stop the cap.
Come on, man. For real. He's over here just like, oh, no, I just wanted to help you. Help me what? When I confronted him outside in front of the party host, and he said, I think I'm in love with you. Oh my God. I had just met him that night. Oh my God. Shit, man. That's, wow. Okay. Oh, man. I'm ashamed to be a guy right now. Just a little bit. This is just wild. Man. Like, dude. I just, like, where are you getting this from? Where's the logic, guys? Yeah, I can see why a lot of girls think it's cap when guys are like, oh yeah, guys are more logical than women, because it's like, don't get me wrong, in certain situations, yes. But when it comes to dating, I think guys throw logic out the fucking window. I really don't think they have logic down. I just don't. I think they try to go with whatever the girl thinks she wants to hear, or like, oh, what can I say to just have her just instantly fall in love with me or something. Like, they're just looking for the shortest route, to whatever they're trying to get, whether it's a relationship, whether it's booty, whatever it is. They're trying to like get the shortest possible route to it. And it just doesn't work. It's like, what are you doing? Yeah, man. I really don't think they be having that logic, bro. All right, I let my ex take a photo of me going down on him. Ooh, that's not good. He posted it on social media website because he wanted everyone to see how amazing I was. God damn. Why? Why did you let him do that? That's crazy. I always tell girls, man, don't ever send dudes nudes, and don't ever, do shit like that could put you in these kind of positions, because if you guys break up, or, if he gets mad at you or whatever, and he's just like, oh, bitch, I'm going to leak your nudes and I'm going to put them on the internet and blah, 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 blah. Like, guys be getting all emotional and fucking vindictive like that, man. You old soft bastards. It's crazy. That's why I always say, I'm like, girls, no, you don't need to be sending no nudes, man. I gave a guy a ride home once and went inside so I could use his bathroom before I headed home myself. When I came out of the bathroom, he was on the couch with his pants to his knees, smoking one of those skinny cigars, and he was like, sup. I left quickly. Yes, thank you. Good. I'm glad you did, because what the fuck? This man. So, so I guess it was a thing where she went to go use the bathroom. Before I headed home myself, I came out of the bathroom. Okay, yes. So I guess he was just sitting there. She was gonna give him a ride home, and he just pulled his pants down and just sat there with his dick out, and she was just like, nigga, you ain't getting a ride home. Get the fuck out of here, man. What the hell? Get out of my face. We're probably going to do like 3 more. When I started seeing my now husband, I had a friend who was very upset. He didn't ask me out first. He kept asking me to go out with him instead, that he'd make a much better partner. I should have shut it down harder, but I was 18, and the more he insisted, he got the more scared. Or hold on. But I was 18, and the more insistent he got, the more scared I was. I was worried I was blowing it out of proportion. He kept coming to my work to talk when he knew I couldn't leave or be rude to him as a customer. It escalated until he texted me in the middle of the night to tell me he'd slit his wrist because I wouldn't go out with him, and was smearing it all over the walls. Why was I hurting him so much? I didn't see he was the one for me. To him, it was a grand declaration of love. I was terrified. I stopped replying at all after that. I thought he would come after me. I had to get my managers and security involved to stop him coming in to see me. A few months later, he moved away and got another girl pregnant. I should have gone to the police, but it honestly didn't occur to me at the time. I thought they'd just dismiss it as no big deal. And they probably would have, because they would have sat there and been like, oh, well, I mean, is your life in danger, or did he do anything physical to you? And no, he didn't. He's just being weird and shit like that. You could have probably restraining ordered him. You could have did that. But yeah, goodness gracious. And then, it's like, homeboy kind of moved on from you pretty quick. Like, I bet he feels fucking stupid as hell for doing all that shit, because it's like, bro, if a girl doesn't want to be with you, she doesn't want to be with you, and you could just move on, which that's what happened. You moved on, and now you got another girl pregnant. I bet you are looking back at that like, wow, I was dumb as fuck. Like, I was desperate as hell, like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here, if I'm being honest with you? Like, goodness gracious. You know what I mean? Some of you guys are just... Actually, all of you guys are fucking fails, alright, man? All these dudes. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. There hasn't been a single dude that's fucking a W. All y'all are fails. This is gonna be our last one. Good. Snuck into my apartment building after going on one date. Oh, my God. Taped a flower and a love poem to my door. Now, this may have been cute because the start of the poem was all joking around and goofy, but then the second half of the poem was all weird, and you and I are going to be together forever and have 10 babies kind of shit. You don't pull that shit after one date, bro. One date. Now, she did like the flower and the note being taped on there. But if the note was just funny, silly, and flirty, I think she would have been like, cool. But then he's sitting there talking about, we're going to be together forever, and we're going to have 10 babies, and we're going to love each other forever and all of eternity, and we're going to die together and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, whoa, hold up. I don't even know if I want to go on a second date with you just yet. Chill the fuck out. We had one date, man. Relax. Dude. Relax a little bit, man. Damn. And then the fact that she said he snuck into her apartment building. So it's like, oh, oof. That's a little scary. After one date, bro. Yeah. Do that shit after maybe like 8, 9 dates. There you go, man. Then you can do all this weird shit. Oh, man, I don't even think a guy like that would get that far. My God, man. Hey. Whew, that's going to be it for that thread. I hope you guys enjoyed that juicy fucking thread, bro. That thread was crazy, man. That thread gets one of these right here. My God. That was a WW thread, man, because, woo, man, you guys out there, you guys are crazy. You're fails. You guys.
Stop it. Get some help.
Please, because you need it. You need all the help you can get, man. You need Jesus. You need all of it. Goodness gracious, my God. You women out here deal with a lot. And we know that from this show, man. Jesus. Oh, you women go through it. Guys out there, don't be like these guys. Please don't. Be the cool dude. You know what I mean? All right, I'm going to hop into announcements, and we're going to get into the recap of what happened last week on Haunting Adeline, and then we're going to get into our next chapters for Haunting Adeline. I believe we're on 18 and 19. Man, we're flying through. All right, patreon.com/MyTheAssholePodcast. If you want to get an exclusive episode every single Friday, hop on over there, man. And if you want to send in your scenarios to be featured on the show, get them on there, baby. And then, let me see. Audio listeners, keep downloading the podcast. I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. Please rate the podcast. 5 stars is preferable. As well as TikTok, man. You guys are blowing it up. I love you guys so much on the TikTok, man. We're so close to our 10K goal, and I hope to reach that. If I'm being honest with you, I don't know. I've been saying it's my goal to reach that by the end of the year, but we might reach it by summer. And I think that's going to be maybe my new, end point on that. I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping I reach it by summer, but we'll see. You guys have been showing a lot of love and support over there, so I do appreciate that, man. Even on the Instagram front, you guys have been showing some support over there, so keep following us on Instagram, keep following us on TikTok for the shorts and clips. And follow us or subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. Even if you don't watch on the YouTube, just hit the subscribe button and leave it. And I appreciate that so much. That helps out a lot. All right. Thank you guys so much for all the support. But let's go ahead and get into the recap of Haunting Adeline. All right. So last week, Haunting Adeline was, if I'm being honest with you, it was a little crazy. So he was standing over her with a gun pointed at her chest, and she is pleading for her life. And he was like, take them fucking leggings off. And she was like, oh shit. So she takes her leggings off, and ironically enough, she's wearing sexy lacy panties and shit. And so, he moved them shits to the side, and he's like, oh, why you act like you so scared? You sure are wet for me. Are you scared or are you aroused? Because your face and, this vagina says otherwise. So he takes his gun and he starts fucking her with the gun. I was like, yo. So he's doing that shit. And that was the punishment and all that kind of stuff that he was, giving to her and whatnot. I was like, oh shit, motherfucker's about that life, man. Homeboy was, he was going crazy. And, made her, got off and all that kind of stuff. And then, after that, later on, she ends up meeting up with Daya. And if you remember a couple episodes ago, she went to the club and she met that guy. And she ended up taking that guy home. I forgot his name. I do apologize. But I forgot his name. And so what had happened is she took that guy home from the club. And, they were doing their thing. And, he was doing the little fingering thing, making her taste her pussy juices, all that good shit, whatever case may be. And her stalker was fuming at that shit. Ended up, like he banged on the door. Homeboy went outside. He knocked him unconscious or whatever. He took him back to his place, tortured him, cut his hands off, and sent him to homegirl's house. Now, supposedly we thought that he killed everybody in the family, but one of his friends who, is close with him and whatnot is wondering like, what the fuck happened to homeboy and why were his hands sent to your house? And so now things are kind of getting a little crazy because they think that Adeline had something to do with it. Now she's protecting her stalker and not saying that it was him, knowing it was him. She's protecting him and not saying that, hey, this guy was the one that did this shit, because then it kind of implicates her a little bit as if she was the one to kind of send this guy after them and stuff like that. So she's kind of just playing the field and she's playing it, like, oh, I don't know. And I don't know what was going on. And he was this and that and blah, blah, blah. So that's a bit of synopsis of what kind of went on with that. We not too many crazy things happened in those two chapters. It was pretty much just that piece of information, where he was fucking her with the gun and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously homeboy is kind of looking for who killed his boy. So now after that, we're going to go ahead and get into chapter, I believe, 18 and 19. I'm going to move you guys on over. Let's see. Here we go.
You're 18. The manipulator.
Unknown. You're so pretty when you sleep.
My heart drops when I read the text. I already knew the fucker was in my house from the rose on my nightstand, but his lack of shame enrages me. I feel the blood rush to my cheeks as fury and embarrassment rise inside of me. I was knocked out cold last night, and I hate that while I was peacefully sleeping, a man was standing over me, watching and just being an all-around freak of nature. The thought sends cold shivers down my spine. After Max crashed our dinner, Daya and I felt considerably on edge. The mood soured and rotted. We combated that feeling by bar hopping. We picked a random drink off the menu for each other, and by the end of the night, we were both pretty toasted. I tried to avoid thinking about Max the entire night, but his threats plagued me anyway, lingering at the back of my mind, there to remind me when I had a moment to think. And it hasn't gotten any better. I spend this whole day trying to write, but I barely managed over 1,000 words. I've long since given up and have retreated to my room to watch mindless TV. Me. You'll look pretty after I stab you. I don't even know why I reply to him. I should stop and report this to the police. They'll think I'm antagonizing him. Jesus, I am antagonizing him. But after Max's threat, I don't need any more reason to make him suspicious by reporting a stalker. And for the ones I already made after Arch's disappearance, I hope those went missing too. Never thought I'd wish for my only evidence against my shadow to disappear, but the threat of Max oddly frightens me more. Maybe I'm kidding myself with a false sense of security with the former. He's scared the absolute fuck out of me, but he hasn't seemed inclined to physically hurt me. In fact, he's done the exact opposite, and that knowledge makes me sick. Max, on the other hand, I know would hurt me.
Unknown. A gun wasn't enough for you? Interesting.
I drop the phone on my bed, and then my head into my hands. But then my head snaps up when I remind myself that the fucker was watching me sleep last night, which means he got in my house again. All the blood in my cheeks drains like a whirlpool when I realize he could have been in my house before I even went to bed. That's what he did last time, and I was pretty out of it last night. I know I read Gigi's diary for a little while, but I don't think I retained a single word I read. My gaze draws to my closet doors like a magnet on a refrigerator. It's a large closet with 2 doors that slide apart, my eyes thin, narrowing on the tiny crack between the 2. My body moves on autopilot. I'm scrambling out of my bed and storming to the closet door before I can think it through. I have no idea what I'd do if he's standing there. Probably shit myself. I tear the doors open and stop short when I'm met with nothing but way too many clothes that I don't wear. There's nowhere for him to hide in here. It's not a deep closet and certainly not big enough to hide a 6-foot, too many inches man. My hands tear through my clothes anyways, searching for him. And even when I'm positive he's not there, I stare harder, swiping my clothes aside with heightening aggression. Get a fucking grip, Addie. It's like you want him to be there. I sigh and turn away, the adrenaline rush diminishing. There's nowhere else in this room for him to hide. As immense as the room is, it's an open concept with minimal furniture. Now I just feel like an idiot. I plop on the bed, crisscrossing my legs as I stare at my phone, like it's a mousetrap with a big-ass block of cheese in it. Gourmet smoked Gouda fucking cheese, to be precise. The phone lights up with an incoming text, the vibrations in the bed traveling straight up my legs. I snatch it up. I fucking love Gouda cheese, goddammit.
Unknown. I'll be seeing you tonight, little mouse.
I snarl. Me. From outside my house and preferably in a cop's handcuffs.
Unknown. You don't need a cop to get me in handcuffs, baby. I'll let you do anything you want to me.
I'm going to suffer from a heart attack with the severe directions my blood keeps rushing to. My pussy pulses from the illicit thought of him handcuffed to my bed, a smirk on his face, dripping with sin. And those goddamn mismatched eyes looking up at me the way he did when he was fucking me with his gun. Like I'm a little mouse that he wants to devour, stuck in the trap with the Gouda cheese puffing up my cheeks. Fuck. My hands shake as I try to force the thought from my head, but it's taken hold and I can't get it out. I straighten my legs, squeezing my thighs together, but it doesn't ease the steady throb between my clenched thighs, nor the wetness pooling between them. My heart races as another ping vibrates my phone. I don't want to look, but I have no fucking self-control.
Unknown. Are you playing with yourself, little mouse? Touching your sweet little pussy to the thought of me handcuffed to your bed?
Me. You're disgusting. But that's exactly what I've begun to do. As soon as I read the words, it was like he possessed my body to do exactly what he was asking. My hand snaked down into my panties, my finger gently swiping at my engorged clit, even as I wrote back my scathing reply. I'm wearing nothing but a long t-shirt and comfortable underwear. I feel bare and exposed beneath the thin cotton. When my legs begin to fall apart, I rip my hand out like I touched a burning stove, hissing at my own stupidity.
Unknown. And you're a liar.
Me. Fuck off.
Unknown. Next time you tell me to fuck off, your clit is going between my teeth.
My bottom lip goes between mine. I suck my lip in sharply, shocked by his nerve, by the pure audacity this man possesses, yet just as turned on. I squeeze my hand around the phone, hating myself more and more as this conversation progresses. My fingers twitch with the need to tell him to fuck off again. The asshole probably doesn't even know how oppositional I am. Tell me not to do something, and I'll only want to do it more. And with a threat like that, I'm so fucking tempted. I feel my heart tumble in my chest again, beating against my ribcage as my thumb travels over the letters. I stare at the 2 words on my screen, my thumb hovering over the send button. My shadow has proven to follow through with his threats, so why do I want to do it so badly? I mean, who instigates their fucking stalker? And to put his mouth on their pussy, no less. I throw my phone as soon as my thumb skates across the button. The message swoops away, and I know I just did something idiotic. Fuck. My head is in my hands again, my fingers clenching my hair tightly until I feel the strands pulling taut. Tiny stabs of pain following suit. Ping! The racing muscle inside my ribcage bursts free and climbs up my throat. I can't look. Abruptly, I stand, restless energy coating my nerves until I'm nearly convulsing. I need to do something, distract myself. Snatching my phone, I hurry down the hall, down the creaky wooden stairs, and into my kitchen. It's dark in here. Eerie, but my stubbornness prevents me from turning any lights on. Ping. Shakily, I pour 2 fingers of my grandfather's whiskey into a glass, and then I hold up the decanter, noting how little is left. Asshole. I shoot the alcohol down in one swallow. The taste is smoky with a hint of citrus. It burns on the way down, turning the insides of my body into an inferno. As if I wasn't already burning up. After I pour myself another 2 fingers and swallow that down, I work up the courage to look at my phone.
Unknown. Oh, little mouse. Unknown. I can't wait to eat you. There will be nothing left of you once I'm done.
God damn it. Shivers rack through my body and I drop the phone. It clatters loudly against the island, disturbing the stilted air. God? Why do you fucking hate me? I ask aloud, my voice ringing out into empty air. Of course, she doesn't answer me. She never does. I'm not even talking to God. I'm talking to myself and the ghosts inside this house. Not even they will answer me. Fuck it. I'm going to bed. I storm up the stairs, turn off the TV, and slip back into my bed, connecting my phone to the charger and then toss the blanket over my head. Under here, the monsters can't get me. I'm safe, untouchable. I ignore the throbbing between my legs and close my eyes, willing myself to sleep. And despite the sporadic thoughts floating around in my head, I manage to drift off into a restless sleep. I toss and turn, the blanket keeping my body too warm. But my subconscious won't allow the blanket to go past my eyes. Sometime in the middle of the night, I feel rough flesh skate across my arms. My subconscious slowly starts to drift away from my dreams, but it feels like I'm weighed under a heavy fog. Something rough glides around one wrist, jolting me further into consciousness. When I feel the rough texture tighten around my other wrist, I finally start to slip back into reality. My surroundings rush in, and even in my half-asleep state, I know something is wrong. My face feels tight, and my body is exposed. I feel the blanket drift past my breasts, down my stomach, and past my hips. When the cool air settles, tightening my nipples into sharp buds, I jerk awake. My eyes open wide, and my breath lodges in my throat when I see a dark figure settled between my legs. Immediately, I panic, my heart races, and my adrenaline surges. I go to scream, but something constricts my mouth. My eyes round when I realize my mouth is taped shut. Several realizations hit all at once. My arms are above me, tied to the headboard with thick ropes. I tug against the binds, desperately trying to slide my wrists out of the loops to no avail. I struggle hard, but my body can only move so much. Thick thighs trap me into a firm hold as my stalker props himself above me, his face concealed by the shadows. I continue to fight against the rope, but only succeed in rubbing my skin raw.
What did I tell you, little mouse?
He asks, his deep voice barely above a whisper. I don't even spare him a glance, my panicked gaze glued to the ropes that are rendering me completely fucking helpless. Fuck what he told me. "Let me go!" I shout beneath the tape, but the words are muffled and indistinguishable. He plants his hands on my hips and roughly pins me to the bed. Electric shocks travel from his skin to mine, the feeling making me tremble beneath his calloused hands. Panic sends my mind into a complete tailspin. I no longer think rationally. My body goes into survival mode, and I fight against his hold with all the strength I can muster. But it's useless. He's too big, too heavy, too fucking imposing. I scream with frustration, attempting to buck him off. He laughs at my attempt, the rich sound of his amusement sending ice down my spine. I still, huffing and puffing against the tape. My hair is in disarray, with several tendrils scattered across my face and constricting my view of him. Not that I particularly want to see his face anyways. It's a goddamn weapon. Gently, he brushes the tendrils out of my face, tenderness in his touch.
Fascinating that you have yet to learn. I always follow through with my threats.
He whispers. "Fuck off!" I shout, enunciating my words as clearly as possible beneath the tape. They're muffled, but he heard what I said, loud and clear anyway. He grabs my face in his hand roughly and brings his face down into mine. Minty breath and a hint of smoke washes over me.
Keep pissing me off, Adeline. I do enjoy hurting you. It's music to my ears when I hear you cry.
I struggle against him, muffled curse words spilling from my taped mouth. Another chuckle reaches my ears.
You've been a very bad girl, little mouse.
He drawls, his deep tenor vibrating through his throat.
And I do enjoy showing you what happens to bad girls.
Sweat pricks at my hairline and trails down my back. I'm still panicking, absolutely shaking with fear. But I have no idea how the hell I'm going to get away from him. Tears prick at my eyes when I realize that I can't. His words from before filter through the panic. You can't escape me. His calloused fingers lift up my t-shirt, exposing my black lace panties and flat stomach. I can't see them, but I feel his eyes devouring me. He continues to lift the shirt until my breasts are bared to him. I hear a sharp intake of breath, revealing his desire. My nipples are tightened into hard peaks, but the asshole is cracked if he thinks it's because of him.
You are absolutely exquisite.
He breathes, his hands trailing across my stomach reverently, over the fading marks he forced on me 4 nights ago. "Fuck off," I growl again.
Don't mind if I do.
He tells me, his voice shadowed with desire and anticipation. My eyes round when his fingers skim beneath the waistband of my underwear, teasing my sensitive skin and warning me of his intentions. I suppress the shiver, determined to maintain my dignity even as he pulls them down to my knees in one move. My fight renews, kicking at him harshly and landing a good kick in his chest. He powers through the kick, pushing back into it and sending painful shockwaves up my leg. It stuns me long enough for him to slip my underwear the rest of the way down my legs. Instead of discarding my underwear, he bundles them in a ball and slides them in his pocket. Oh, that's gross. I growl deep in my chest and desperately kick at him again. I use both legs, putting every bit of force behind them. He snatches both of my feet before they can connect with his face. Damn it. I squirm, upending the upper half of my body as I struggle. Quickly, he works his hands around both ankles while avoiding a foot to the face, and then he forces my legs apart, pinning my knees to the bed as he bears my pussy. What felt like forever only took 15 seconds. I force myself to still, my chest heaving wildly. If I continue to buck, I'll only be putting my pussy right in his stupid face, and the asshole would just love that. Rage, unlike anything I've ever felt, floods me, replacing the fear and helplessness. I scream beneath the tape, raging and cursing him as his eyes eat up the expanse of my center. The moonlight doesn't provide enough light for him to see much, but it doesn't matter to him. He's seen it before. He inhales deeply.
Fuck. You smell just like I remember. So fucking sweet.
He leans down and places a gentle kiss on my pelvic bone. I arch my back, pushing my body deeper into the mattress and away from his kiss. I'm panting harshly through my nose, imitating a pissed-off bull. Self-hatred wars against the hatred for him. I did this to myself. I know I did. I instigated him, pushed against him when he warned me what would happen. It didn't matter. I was too fucking stupid and hard-headed, too high off whatever sick thrill I can't seem to get enough of. He grips my hips and roughly yanks me down, tightening the bonds on my wrists and giving him full access to my pussy. Another soft kiss, an inch above my clit. I can't stop the whimper that releases from my mouth, sticking against the tape, just as my lips are. But the tape doesn't mask the sound like it's masking my words. I feel him pause, and then he smiles against my skin. I shudder beneath his touch, his hot breath fanning across my most sensitive area. My knees jerk inward, another useless attempt to close my legs. And then I feel them. A stubborn tear slips free as his teeth scrape against my mound. I scream and thrash against the feeling, dislodging his teeth from my skin only for my body to jerk right back into his mouth. I gasp, feeling far more than just teeth this time. His tongue slides against my clit, a feral groan releasing from his throat as he tastes me. Uncontrollably, my eyes roll and my head kicks back as the most delicious feeling envelops me. But I refuse to let that cloud my judgment. Riding alongside pleasure is disgust. Disgust at myself, my body, for feeling anything else. And disgust that he is taking something that I didn't willingly give.
Fuck.
He growls against me, the vibrations forcing me to suck in a deep breath. The sound of his deep tenor sends a burst of butterflies into my stomach.
You're so fucking creamy.
He rasps. I squeeze my eyes shut, hating how I feel my pussy throb from his words and the attention he's giving me. More so, I hate that he's right. I can smell my own arousal, feel the juices sliding down my ass cheeks. I shake. I shake because I don't know what else to fucking do right now. Now more than ever, I hate myself and the reaction my body has to adrenaline and terror. He licks the entirety of my slit, his tongue moving leisurely all the way up to the bundle of nerves before he sucks my clit between his teeth and clamps down, just like he said he would. I scream with both fright and bliss. His bite is hard enough to send a wave of pain scattering across my clit, but not hard enough to truly hurt me. He pulls his head away slowly, my clit dragging between his teeth until it slips free, a burning sensation radiating from the bud. I try to wriggle away, but all it does is cause him to slide his hands behind my knees and forcefully push them back to my ears. I squeeze my eyes shut again, another traitorous tear slipping free as I thrash against my bonds, desperate to slip free. In this position, I'm far more exposed and vulnerable to him. But just as it always does, the thrill of danger sends an uncomfortable feeling straight to my core. He has my body curled so far inward, my ass is no longer on the bed. As if I wasn't already ashamed enough, I feel my arousal sliding down my stomach. He growls, noting the desire flooding from my entrance. I can feel his body tightening with need, power rippling through his body. He doesn't waste any more time bringing his mouth back to my pussy and sucking my clit back into his mouth. I jerk, the pleasure renewed as he tugs and sucks at the bud. He doesn't lick me again, refusing to use his tongue against me. Only his teeth. Every time I move, he clamps harder, so I force myself to stiffen, but the pressure doesn't lessen. If anything, it only heightens until sharp pain is sluicing from my clit. I squeal from the sting, screaming muffled curses at him through the tape. And just when it becomes too much, he lets go. I pant through the relief and the lingering pain, my clit throbbing and sore. But he doesn't allow me to suffer for long. His middle finger slides inside of me, curling to hit that sweet spot. My hips buck against his hand, a different type of pleasure swelling inside of me. A bliss that stings and burns, but yet feels fucking incredible.
Did that hurt?
He asks softly, tilting his head as he watches his finger slide in and out of me, juices collecting in the palm of his hand. Now that one of my legs is free, I'm tempted to drive my foot into his face. But the reminder of that bite keeps my leg still. So I just fume, silently, glaring holes into him. The anger feels like it's burning me from the inside out. He hums, disappointed by my silence. Leaning down, he captures the abused nub between his teeth, sucking in but keeping his bite minimal. Combined with his finger curling up to hit that spot, I can no longer breathe. Gently, he scrapes his teeth over the sensitive flesh. Over and over until it drives me mad with both the need for more and the need to kill him. Maybe I can cut his hands off like he did Arch. Knock his teeth out so he can't turn my body against me anymore.
Remember this, little mouse.
He murmurs in between nips.
Remember that your disobedience brings you pain.
Another sharp nip. My hips jerk away, but the action is futile.
I know you remember how good it felt when my gun was fucking your pussy. Imagine my tongue inside of you, my cock. The pleasure you'd feel would be blinding.
His finger curls and proves his words true, sending that blinding pleasure racing throughout my body. I feel the break. The moment when my body decides it needs what he's giving me more than the need for him to stop. I fight against the dark part of me that wants to beg for more, a dark part that has found a voice and is trying to break free. Take over and give in to this man so we both can find relief. I thrash against it, entering a silent battlefield and trying to choke the life out of it so it never comes to light. But then he withdraws his finger to the very tip, swiping his finger along my entrance. And when he sinks back inside me, he adds 2 more fingers. My eyes roll as he stretches me, caressing that sweet spot over and over, while his teeth bite into my clit anew. The dark side of me wins while I watch helplessly as my body renews its struggle, but this time I'm shamefully grinding myself against him. He's not giving me what my body has begun to crave, to need, in order to assuage the pleasure building deep in my belly. He continues to scour my clit with his teeth, nipping and biting but refusing to give me his tongue. Frustration mounts until I'm brimming with it. I'm so angry, but now it's because he's denying me pleasure. "Asshole!" I screech against the tape. The answering smile against my pussy is evident that he heard me. Giving in to the anger, I kick my leg out with unrestrained force. He dodges the kick by a mere inch. A feral growl tears from his chest, and he pushes my knee back down with bruising force. The sound wasn't of desire like before, but anger. Even if I were forced in front of a priest tomorrow, no fear of God would convince me to confess how fucking sexy that growl was. Or how hard my pussy pulsed in response. I'll never confess that, not even to myself. He tightens his grip to a punishing hold. Tomorrow, I'll have handprints on the underside of my thighs. They'll go nicely with the hickeys smattering my body.
What did you learn, little mouse?
He taunts, blowing hot breath directly onto my clit. I growl, another frustrated tear leaking down my temple and into my hairline.
Are you going to tell me to fuck off again?
He asks, darting out his tongue for a sharp lick. It's there and gone before I can get any satisfaction from it. I shout at him some more until he finally reaches up and rips the tape from my mouth. I curse against the flaring pain in my face and then keep cursing now that he can finally fucking hear me. You fucking psycho mother... My tangent is cut short due to another painful bite to my clit.
Try again. Are you going to tell me to fuck off again?
I heave, trying to calm myself down but failing. I don't even know how to begin to name the emotions swelling inside of me. I could explode from the force of them converging all in my chest. Probably. I grind out through gritted teeth. He chuckles, a musical sound so dark it must come straight from an Edgar Allan Poe flick. He nips at me again, but this one lighter and more playful.
Do you understand what's going to happen from now on when you do?
I clamp my mouth shut, refusing to answer such a stupid fucking question. I understand perfectly what's going to happen. It's just a matter of listening. In response to my nonverbal answer, he withdraws his fingers, leaving me bereft. But before I can complain, he licks me again. This time slower and more languid. He flattens his tongue and licks me from the bottom up, going particularly slow over my pulsating clit. My eyes close against the sensation, a breath whooshing from my throat. There's no stopping the shivers that encase my spine, no stopping the bliss radiating from where his tongue laps up my cunt. I arch my back, growling from how easily my body turns to jello beneath his unfairly skilled tongue. But just as I start to grind against his mouth, shamefully and unabashedly, he stops.
Do you understand?
He asks again, his tone lilted with superiority. A frustrated sob works its way up my throat, but I swallow it back down. It takes several swallows before I feel confident to speak levelly, though the words taste like battery acid on my tongue. Loud and fucking clear, kitty cat. A dark chuckle skitters across my core, and I'm ashamed of how my body responds. My ass curves toward his mouth without permission, seeking what it needs. His tongue dives into my pussy, licking inside of me with ravenous strokes. A cry leaves my lips, breathless and embarrassingly loud. The pressure builds as he finally does what I've been silently begging for. His tongue swirls up to my clit with the perfect amount of pressure, paying special attention to the abused bud, before dipping lower again and spearing the muscle inside of my pussy. Cries of pleasure echo throughout the room, and now I regret the tape ever leaving my mouth. Because I don't want him to hear what he's doing to me, but I can't seem to contain myself either. I just lose myself. To him and the thrashing of his tongue on my clit. It's impossible to resist as the coil deep in my stomach curls painfully tight. I can't stop him from sucking my clit into his mouth any more than I can control the orgasm from reaching its peak. I suck in a sharp breath, a strangled cry escaping as my body falls over the edge. He plunges 2 fingers inside me just as I do, and the bliss is catastrophic. I no longer care to hold back the sharp screams, nor do I stop my thighs from clamping his head firmly between them. Drown in my fucking pussy. Die there for all I care. Euphoria consumes me, wrapping me so tightly in its clutches, all 5 of my senses are lost to it. This isn't a climb to heaven, it's a fall from grace. I'll never recover. Not when my soul has been ripped from my body and dragged down to hell. I fell so deeply that I found myself in the devil's lair, being feasted on from the dark god himself. Moans rack from my throat, and I feel his answering groan. His hands clutch at my thighs, prying them apart just enough to continue to lap at my throbbing cunt, riding out the orgasm for longer than my body can handle. He rips his mouth away and crawls up my body while continuing to fuck me with his fingers. I'm still delirious. My mouth still parted as I continue to moan, so when he pinches my cheeks, holding my mouth open, I hardly care. His fingers feel too good. His mouth skates over my lips once before I watch a trail of saliva drip from his mouth into mine.
Swallow your juices,
He rasps, and I do. My throat works as the unique taste blooms across my tongue. He growls deep in his chest before he crushes his lips to mine. I let him. Later, I'll ask myself why, but with his fingers still drawing out pleasure despite my orgasm having faded and the fog clouding my judgment, I fucking let him. Not only that, but I kiss back. His tongue dives into my mouth, swirling with my own. Fire and electricity spark from our connected lips, and it feels like planets colliding, like the energy is astronomical. And with every brush and every lick, a new star is being born. Time ceases to exist as he kisses me until my lips are bruised, and I'm sure I'll come out of this with a permanent stutter in my breathing. At one point, he withdrew his fingers and cupped my face with his hands, almost sweetly. A stark contrast to, well, him and the way he devours me. He yanks himself away when our bodies begin to grind ruthlessly and moans slip free, and I'm glad for it. The second he retreats, it's like time and clarity come rushing back in, hitting me over the head like someone just clocked me with a bat. I don't open my eyes. I just suck in deeply, breathless from that kiss. His body slips out from between my thighs, and I immediately snap my knees inward and drop my feet, hiding myself from his ravenous eyes. Being consumed by him feels like drowning in water with a live wire in it. Electric currents ravish your body until you're overcome with it. No oxygen, no thought, no control. And when it's over, he yanks you out of the water. The electricity still dancing across your skin, currents sparking between your bodies. But you can see and think clearly again. All you can feel is like you've been ripped to shreds, like your body chemistry has been completely rearranged and you've come out of that water an entirely different person. I hate him for it. I hate him more than I've ever hated anyone. The bliss fades, and the familiar feeling of fury and hatred reawaken. He doesn't speak, but I feel the power bubbling beneath his skin. I can feel the desire, the thirst, the absolute ravenous beast threatening to tear from his skin. If it does, I can no longer trust myself to stop him from consuming me from the inside out. And the realization makes me want to cry. I let it fucking happen, again. With the gun and now this, why do I keep letting this happen? He's forcing himself on me, we both know that. But in the end, he had me wanting it just as much as he did. He had me nearly begging for it, whether it was his gun fucking me or his tongue. My legs fell open by the time it was over. Not to mention, we just made out like two horny teenagers about to lose their virginity. I don't know what the fuck to do with that information, or how the hell to even process it. A moment of silence passes, the air disturbed only by our heavy breathing. I'm not strong enough to open my eyes and face what happened. I'm scared of what I'll do, what I'll say. For the first time, the asshole in the sky finally listens to my pleas and compels this man to reach over, untie the ropes, and walk the fuck away. I force my eyes open and watch him go, swallowing the venom that threatens to spew from my mouth. If I let it loose, I know it'll just result in him carrying out another threat. He pauses at the door, turning his head just enough for the moonlight to reveal his sharp jawline, the wetness coating his skin, and a hint of a scar. He doesn't speak, but he does bite his bottom lip, hard, trapping whatever meaningless words on his tongue, right along with the taste of my pussy. Finally, he turns, the door gently clicking shut behind him. For the second time, I'm left alone, decimated and in ruins, and again, I let the tears fall freely while I work to pick up the pieces. June 19th, 1945. John is drunk again. I told him that I needed space, and of course I sneaked off to see Ronaldo. I know. My husband is hurt and angry, and to escape his harsh but validated words, I run off to cheat. God, I'm terrible. I truly am. But I don't know how to stop. And lately, I haven't been feeling the safest. John is drinking more, and though he hasn't hurt me yet, I fear he might. He seems to grow angrier as the days pass. He comes home from work and yells at Sarah for the simplest things. He's even made her cry a few times. I've tried to explain to her that we're going through a rough patch. She's 15 now and old enough to understand that marriages aren't all sunshine and rainbows. She begged me to work it out with him, but I'm not entirely sure I want to anymore, even if it's for Sarah's sake. And I know that makes me incredibly selfish.
Chapter 19. The Shadow. I don't regret it, not any more than when I stuck a gun in her cunt and made her come. And I know how fucked up that is, to take something without consent. I know that's what I'm fighting against every day. She hasn't given it to me yet, but she will. I know my little mouse better than she knows herself. She's in too much denial to see how drawn she is to me. If she wasn't, she wouldn't instigate, pushing to get her clit bitten, knowing damn well I stay true to my word. If she genuinely wasn't intrigued, she wouldn't have texted me back in the first place. Her actions speak an entirely different language than her words, a language filled with desire and pleas. She just hasn't learned to translate it yet. Doesn't make it right, nor does it justify it, but I can't make myself regret tasting something so fucking sweet, so fucking perfect, even if she didn't want it, because that's what that was. She knew I was going to follow through with my threat if she told me to fuck off again, and she kept doing it anyways, and that tells me that my little mouse can't control how she really feels. This means that whatever she feels, it's fucking addicting. She fought me so hard initially, her anger and ire only turning my blood to molten lava. The harder she fought me, the harder my cock fought against the confines of my genes. I wanted so badly to release the zipper and plunge myself deep inside that sweet little pussy. I was close. Too fucking close to doing it. Once those cries of pleasure reached my ears, and she gripped me in her hold, shamelessly grinding against my face, I was nearly done for. The only thing that stopped me was the look on her face. When she was coming on my face, she was unashamed. But as soon as the orgasm drained from her body and the kiss was no longer consuming us, she felt nothing but shame. It's going to take time, I remind myself. I crack my neck, releasing a shuddering breath. I'm sitting in my Mustang, my dick still painfully pressed against my zipper, just as I decide to say fuck it. Jacking off in a car is the least of my sins and wouldn't be the first fucking time. My phone blares in the console next to me. I curl my hand into a tight fist, my muscles straining as I fight the overwhelming urge to bash it into the fucking window. I don't think I've had blue balls like this since high school, when Sarah Fortin jacked me off in the locker room. It was the first time a girl touched my dick, and I didn't even get to finish because Coach walked in before I could shoot my load off on her pretty tits. I snatch up the phone and bring it to my ear without even looking. Yeah? I snap, my frustration boiling to dangerous levels. Didn't get laid tonight? Jay croons through the phone, his voice laced with mocking amusement. I crack my neck again, growling when my muscles don't pop and give me any relief. Jay, I growl. I refuse to touch my dick while on the phone with him. As much as I need to lessen the pressure, Jay's voice would make me feel sick. Satan's affair is coming to town, he starts. I open my mouth, gearing up to ask him why the fuck that would matter to me. And I got confirmation there's tickets with 4 little birdies' names on them, he continues. I snap my mouth shut. Why would they go there? I ask, completely confused why 4 grown-ass men would go to a haunted fair. Prime girls for the picking, my friend, and now there's a ticket with your name on it. I sigh. When? 3 weeks from now. Plenty of time to go to the clubs a few times and start showing that pretty face of yours. Sighing again, I pluck the pack of cigarettes from the console, bring it to my mouth, and slide out a cigarette with my teeth. I grab my lighter and flick the flame, inhaling deeply as the cherry blares red. You're smoking, aren't you? Jay says. I offer a non-committal confirmation as I roll down my window and blow out smoke. The raging hard-on is gone, but my dick still hurts. You said you were going to quit, he whines. Do you know how many chemicals are in that? According to the J, I snap, cutting off his tangent. If I let it go on, he'd list off the ingredients in a cigarette like he's listing off all the components in the periodic table. Nobody fucking cares. He sighs like an angry teenager on their period. Whatever, he mumbles. Update me if anything else comes up, I say, before clicking off the phone. I drag in another inhale of smoke and turn my attention to my laptop. The inside of my Mustang is decked out in gadgets. A laptop sits on a platform, a mechanical arm attached to the dash so I can push and pull it towards me for convenience. Dash cams, an alert system for law enforcement, and other illegal shit decorate the interior of my car. I pull the laptop towards me and fire it on. The bright screen stabs at my sensitive eyes. Squinting against the light, I pull up my programs and get to work. In pure curiosity, I want to know who is attending this haunted fair. It comes to town every single year, and I've never bothered to go. Haunted houses don't scare me, not when I see true horror every day. There's nothing a couple of made-up monsters can do to horrify me more than the actual monsters polluting this world. Humans don't need to decorate themselves in gory makeup and fake blood to be scary. It's the inside of us, the darkness that lurks beneath the surface. That's what's truly fucking terrifying. That's what leads people to commit heinous crimes every single day. That's what leads innocent little kids to die horrific deaths for no fucking reason at all. The insides of us, that's what keeps me alive. It's the only purpose I have in life. And without it, I'd be nothing. I scroll through the list of names and stop short when I see one in particular that has my heart pounding. Adeline Riley. I smile. Well, that used to be my only reason for living. But now I've discovered a new meaning to life. Me. I can still taste you, little mouse. I stepped back for all of 2 days before I could no longer resist. I've beat my dick like it was an opponent in a boxing match, and I'm so fucking tired of the feel of my own hand. There are 0 expectations for her to reply today. I'm sure she's still nestled comfortably in that corner of her head where she hates herself and is convinced she'll never give me the time of day again. But that corner is a farce, and we both know it. The feel of my gun inside her scared her, but the feel of my tongue on her pussy and how hard she came will fucking haunt her. She'll cry about it for a little while, but soon she'll fall right back into temptation.
Addie, did you know a stalker killed my great-grandmother?
My brows shoot into my hairline at her text. Not only was I not expecting one at all, but the fact that she replied with real words and not some empty threat. Hers don't necessarily hold weight like mine do. Me. Do you have proof of this? Based on the few journal entries I read, she and her stalker had a passionate relationship, and he was also tossed up with some bad people according to the entry of him visiting her with unknown injuries. It didn't seem like he showed signs of aggression or violent obsession, but who really knows? Addie's great-grandmother could have just been seeing what she wanted to see, and he really did kill her. Or maybe her husband caught her having an affair and flew into a fit of rage. Both possibilities are equally likely, just as it's likely that whatever shit her stalker got mixed up in could have bitten him in the ass. And bite they did, right where it would have hurt him most, his obsession. After I poked through the diary, I became curious and looked deeper into her great-grandmother's story. The pull of history repeating itself was too intriguing. The crime scene was trampled over, and the detectives handling the case were complete imbeciles.
Addie. Not yet. But I'm going to find it. And I'll be proven right. All stalkers are just fucking psychotic freaks.
I purse my lips, a smile threatening to take over. I'll let her stew on her response for a few minutes. Let her think she pissed me off, or hurt me. Whatever she's convinced herself my reaction would be. She thinks she knows me already, but my little mouse couldn't be further from the truth. I stalk her because I'm fucking addicted. I'm fascinated with every move she makes, every word that comes from her pretty pink mouth. And now I'm addicted to her scent, her taste, and the way she sounds when she's scared for her life, just as much as I'm addicted to the way she sounds when she's begging for more. It's not something I can explain. When I saw her, I fucking nearly fell to my knees with need, and I will have her. But not because I'm psychotic and delusional. I'm not going to make a goddamn shrine of her and convince myself that we were destined to be together by the gods, or whatever weird shit people believe in these days. I'll have her because she's the first thing that made me feel something good in so long, and I've become obsessed with keeping it. I don't have very many something goods in my life, and I don't care if it makes me selfish for wanting to hold on to it. The only way I'll be able to truly keep her is if she sees me at my worst. I would rather just off myself than trick Addie into loving me as a good man, just to break both of our hearts when she realizes I'm not a good man at all. So my obsession with her is what it is. Me. Well, that's pretty judgy, don't you think? Your great-grandmother loved her stalker last time I checked. She's going to be pissed when she sees that I snooped through her great-grandmother's diaries. Smiling, I pull up the camera feed of her house on my phone and click through until I find Addie sitting on her bed, staring at her phone. I was alerted when she took out the camera in her bedroom, and it wasn't hard to sneak in while she was out and set up my own. Though I can't see her face very well, it doesn't take a telescope to see she's glaring holes into the screen. She's pretty fun when she's angry. Her thumbs start moving a mile a minute, and I can't help but laugh when she slam dunks the phone on her pillow after she hits send. My phone buzzes a second later.
Addie, he tricked her, just like what you're trying to do to me, and then he killed her. Just like I'm sure you'll eventually try to do too.
I roll my eyes at her dramatics and hit the call button. She picks up the phone, but doesn't speak. I hear her breathing softly through the receiver, and I wish I were there to lick her pulse, to feel it drumming against my tongue. I love that I scare her. You done being dramatic? I ask, letting her hear the amusement in my voice. She huffs, and I can picture the scowl on her face. My cock hardens in my jeans, swelling to the point of pain in a matter of seconds.
Dramatic? You think Gigi being murdered by her stalker is dramatic? Do you think being stalked at all is something to take lightly?
Well, of course not, I reply. People die all the time from crazed stalkers. My honesty stuns her into silence. Addie, baby, you're smart for being scared, very smart. But why would I want you to fall in love with something fake? She snorts.
You really think I'd fall in love with you?
You're really going to act like you wouldn't. If I approached you in that bookstore and asked you on a date, I'd woo you, charm you, show you a pretty fake smile, and treat you like a queen, all while lying to your face. Is that really what you want? Silence greets me again. She can't say no, and she knows it.
Why can't you just be decent and not feel the need to stalk me?
Because then I wouldn't be true to myself, little mouse. I love that I scare you. I love that you try to run from me. The push and pull. The cat and mouse game. I fucking love it. And I think a part of you does too. She scoffs at me.
You're fucking insane if you think I love you scaring me. But then again, I already knew you were.
I smile. I can't remember the last time I genuinely smiled before I inserted myself into this beautiful creature's life. Don't you, though? I see how you try to hide how wet your pussy gets when you're scared. Your nipples get so fucking hard, and you clench your thighs tight, as if that's going to lessen the need to feel my cock inside of you. She gasps, a quiet inhale of breath. I grind my teeth against the raging urge to go to her house and bring that noise out of her some more.
Did you do it?
She asks suddenly, as if the question burst out of her. Her breathing escalates.
Did you kill Arch?
I bite my bottom lip, a smile forming. I've been waiting for this question. Surprised it took her so long to work up the nerve when she's got plenty of it to disobey me. I think you already know the answer to that, Adeline.
I do. His family is dead, too.
I'm not surprised to hear that she knows. It made national news, after all. Bodies are gone without a trace, and a bit of a war has begun now that there's a power vacuum.
Do you know what that caused, kitty cat?
I chuckle at the nickname. I'll correct that little bad habit of hers soon.
It gained me some pretty fucked up enemies.
My smile fades. I've been keeping an eye on Arch's friends, but apparently I haven't been keeping it close enough. Max, I guess. I've heard he's been strong-arming his way to the top.
Yup,
She says sassily, popping the P. I hum, my mind wandering to all the ways I'm going to teach Max and his crew a lesson. I had hoped they would be smart enough to leave Addie alone with her police reports disappearing. She listened and didn't report the hands to the police. In retrospect, Max has no reason to target Addie, which means he had to have found out about the hands.
that's it? That's all you have to say? Some pretty dangerous men are after me because of you, you know. If I end up dead because of your psychotic jealous...
Let me stop you there, baby, because you seem to forget that I had a gun in your pussy not too long ago. Did you think teaching you how to act right is the only lesson I'm teaching with that? She quiets. If you think low-life criminals are scarier than me, then I haven't been clear enough, have I? Next time you place them above me, I'll be sending their heads to your doorstep next. I crack my neck, the flare of anger receding now that Addie has closed her pretty little mouth. She's starting to learn, but I hope to God she never stops talking back. I do like to punish her.
I don't even know why I'm talking to you.
She finally stutters out.
You're a sick, deranged individual, and I already made another police report against you, asshole.
Lies. The last report she made about me was the night she pretended to call when I stood outside her house. She was attempting to scare me away, but once I called her out on it, she followed through with the threat. My girl doesn't back down from a challenge. I walked back to my car with a stiff cock and a smile on my face. I don't back down either. A bark of laughter bursts from my throat before I can stop it.
That's funny?
That's sexy, but we both know that's not true. I've been deleting them since she started making them and sent a guy in to destroy any physical evidence. The policemen will recall going to her house, but the second they try to investigate, if they ever got off their asses, that is, they would have nothing to go off of. Not that stalking cases are ever taken seriously anyways, which is why so many women end up murdered. She growls and hangs up on me, and I can't keep in the fucking laughter, especially when I pull the feet up and see her stomping her cute little feet around the house, mumbling to herself, probably berating herself for even picking up the phone. The fun has only just begun, little mouse. Chapter 2.
Woo! All right. Man. Okay. that was a bit of a chapter there, man. My goodness. All right. Woo! It looks like it's getting a little heated between them. My God. Man's walked up in there and was just like, let me take care of you. Woo! And she was like, no. But yes, but no, but yes. But no, but yes. Oh, man. Whew, all right. Yes, that has been Haunting Adeline chapters 18 and 19. My goodness, the book is getting good, getting juicy. We're getting close to that halfway mark, man. Getting close to that halfway mark. I know you guys are enjoying this series, and I'm glad that you are enjoying the series. You guys come back every week, and it seems like it's been a popular series for you guys. I appreciate that. Love all the support, man. But that's going to be it for you, boy. Again, patreon.com/MyTheAsshole Podcast. Get on there for the exclusive episode every Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to the episode. Thank you, audio listeners, for all the downloads, support over there, as well as, ratings. Please keep rating the podcast. 5 stars is preferable. TikTok, we are super close to our goal of 10K. Hopefully we can reach that by the summertime. And Instagram, as well, if you guys are on there or whatever. I post things on Instagram, but I don't really promote it or anything like that. I mean, it's like, hey, if you guys are on Instagram, you're on Instagram. It's all good. But if you want to help the show free 99 even more, go ahead and head over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ Am I the Asshole Podcast? Am I the Asshole Podcast, all one word. Subscribe over there or click the link tree and go to YouTube there. But other than that, that's going to be it. Love you guys so much. See you on Sunday. Peace.